Hey, you're on Collider Live. Who do we got?
Tommy from New Jersey. How we doing?
What's up, Tommy?
Hi,
What's going on, brother?
Tommy.
So what do you got for us today?
First, I'd like to say that I'm going to New York August 31st.
Oh,
and I'm really excited for
Excited to have
Tommy,
you, man.
congratulations on making that 45-minute trip from Jersey.
It's for the schmodown.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, good. I'm good.
Roxy, congrats on the Odd Couple.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Do you think I'm going to win Manager of the Year?
Oh, for sure.
Wow. Kaiser
There we
might say
go.
something about that.
Well,
You can talk about Kaiser later.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Sorry. So what do you got for us, Tom?
So who are some of the people that when you did comedy, you not were scared to go after, but some people that you really respect and you think were really, really good at comedy, whether they're a comedian or someone that just destroyed the crowd?
Is that for that's for both or for Steve?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, Tommy, first off, let's lose that attitude. I don't know where it's coming from. I mean, you got a really harsh tone about you that I don't appreciate. I would say this. The first club I passed at was at the Comedy Cellar in New York City, my first official New York club. So I was nervous as all hell because at the time, Chappelle's show was on the air. And he'd always come in at 1 a.m, and that's when my spot was.
Oh, yeah.
So I was always like, well, I'm staying and doing my set because I don't care. I'm here. I waited from 11 to 1. I'll wait another 2 hours because Chappelle would go till 3.
Right.
So that was kind of the thing that taught me to follow anybody. I mean, you're following the biggest comic probably in the world at the time, and certainly still one of those top comics for sure. Yeah. So I just kind of got over it pretty quickly. But in terms of like comedians I saw when I was younger that I really respected, my two favorites, well, probably three, were Geraldo, Jim Norton, and Bill Burr, because they all had a defined voice that was so them and so opinionated, but they were the same way off stage as they were on stage. Just this really, really smart, quick. And I was like, I got to get to that someday where I can be like having your voice,
right?
Just knowing and defining your voice. So,
well, yeah, that's the thing is because it's just the way that comedy works is that. And it's not a disrespect. It's just you've seen there are a lot of comedians that go up and you've seen their sets, and it's not disrespect to them. You're outside, you're the patio of the Comedy Store, and you're just talking, and like, oh, so and so's up, great. Let me know when he's off. I'm going to go up. And there's other comics that you just kind of drift in because you got to watch them.
Yeah,
you got to watch what they're going to do. Even if you've seen the set a million times, like how are they going to do it differently tonight? Like Sebastian's always been a monster. I mean, Sebastian's been a monster.
Always been quoted in the halls of the Comedy Store when he first. Everybody would walk past you. Apple martini.
Right.
And
it just said porn star, and they don't talk.
I can see your asshole.
right. And so when I got past the Comedy Store in 2002, and he was just starting to kind of really get the spots and make the moves. And Cap was another one too. You know, like those guys were. You just watch them. But my favorite guy at the time that I'd always have to watch.
Thank you, by the way,
Steve Bryne.
I see where this is going.
Steve
All
Bryne.
right, come on, buddy.
It was. But no, it was James Painter. Do you remember James Painter?
Yeah.
James Painter, who never blew up, but he was because I think he quit comedy. Him and Holtzman. Do you follow Holtzman on Instagram?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
He's
guys,
crazy.
if you aren't following Brian Holtzman, he's got like 1,200 followers, which is a crime.
Yeah.
Follow Brian Holtzman. He's a lunatic. So Brian Holtzman, as far as following, you know, as a young comedian kind of coming up in that store, and then you'd get 15 minutes and he'd light you and you're out. Or Rogan, man, because Rogan would come in, he would do 45 an hour, and he had earned it, you know. And Rogan would come in, and you'd watch him, but then you got to go up right after him. He just did an hour. It's 12:15, and now he's high energy.
Right,
he's big, so you've got to be there, and you've got to say, okay, you want to stick with me, and it makes you fight for it. So it was challenging, but it was also it was good.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the toughest guys to follow are guys that aren't known, because there's the element of like, yeah, you got to follow Seinfeld, you got to follow Rock, or you got to follow Chappelle, and there's that notion of these people like, oh my God, this person's on this plane that's so much higher than me, ascending, you know, heights in their resume that everybody knows, and then there's like these high energy acts that are cool hand Luke, they got nothing to lose, so they're going to go up and just give it their all. And you're like, oh man, it's just 15 minutes of rock solid killer stuff, and then you got to go up and follow that guy. Sometimes that's even tougher than following a bigger name.
Absolutely, because you just don't because the crowds could be tapped out then after that.
Sure.
And it's your job to get them back. And sometimes, you know, a different energy can actually work to your advantage.
Yeah,
you know, it just
like
depends
Sam
on
Tripoli is somebody that comes to mind, like back in the day, especially, so high energy.
on, people.
So, so funny. And Tripoli, it would either kill or bomb.
Right.
There was like
Yeah.
no.
No. Painter was the
difference,
same
yeah.
way. Painter was the same way. But anyway, thanks for the call.